love the background chatter of the bar. It sounds like before a Cheers episode, live from a studio audience.
You can't beat it. Happy Red October, everybody. This is the City Pigeons podcast. We are here at the lovely Billy Murphy's Irish Saloonery, a favorite local spot for some of us here. Some of us have become more acquainted with it.
It's like my third or fourth time here, and I like it more each time I get.
What's not to like, you know? The
Saloonery.
The Saloonery.
Is that a verb?
That's it's a rare word. It's not used as much. Now, we were admiring.
It's like calling something an ye old shoppy.
Exactly. Now, there are things about Murph's that make it special. And I would say number one is the cigarette machine over here.
Yeah.
That's got to stay, okay? Even, like, they might make that illegal, but that needs to stay for the rest of the time. If you want to get a pack of Newports, it's your right as an American, and you can do it right here. And we're going to keep it that way.
Need some Marble Reds at 1:30 in the morning? There's only one spot to go.
We've all been there.
How much does a pack of smokes cost?
And especially if you're underage.
$75.
If you're underage and you need to get a pack of smokes, the machine. I used to go to Fiesta Pizza 5.
And you listen, bro?
And nobody's watching the machine. You can just go right in.
Yes, absolutely. No, there are so many wonderful things about Murph's that make it what it is, and we appreciate Mike for letting us come down here. We are in the middle of the build-up to the Phillies series starting this weekend. We obviously don't know who the Phillies are going to play. We do have the Mets-Brewers game going on here, which is going back and forth. Mets just did take the lead. I got so much to say about this, but, you know, right now we're in the build-up period with Red October. We saw the Phillies play the, inter-squad game today. We kind of got to get right into it.
Which was a pretty good idea if you think about it. And how cool would it have been for them to sell tickets to it and have the fans warm up? Like, we need warm up too. We need to stay in game shape. We would have even though Aramark's
that's actually a brilliant idea.
And I don't respect anyone who buys off striking Aramark. It would have been nice.
You're supporting the Aramark
probably
strike.
Could have made no. I'm just saying they probably could have made money on.
So I actually saw this earlier today.
From people who
they were talking about on the radio, and they mentioned that Devin had been one of the people who picked up on this early and said that it would be great. I didn't actually realize what they were talking about. I thought they meant like an open practice like the Eagles, but I didn't realize they were actually having an inter-squad Phillies game. That would be the coolest thing ever.
With like umpires and walk-up music. Like if they're going to that extent, get fans in.
Might as well sell tickets, make money, let the fans warm up.
Let us boo them in preparation for what's inevitable.
So who won? Did the Phillies win?
It tied 5-5. Castellanos and Harper both hit game-tying homers during the scrimmage.
Can you imagine seeing a Ranger going up against Harper? That would be amazing.
I'm wondering who gave up the run so I know who to fucking boo. It's probably Taiwan Walker.
Nola. I did see that.
Price is like, let me get some Taiwan.
Did see that Hoffman had the neck stiffness, so that's not great.
Driving up here, I was sitting there thinking to myself, I'm like, damn, I'm a fucking idiot. I don't even know who the Phillies are playing in the playoffs. So we don't know who their opponent is.
No,
yet.
that means you're not an idiot. Because unless you're clairvoyant, then you'd only know. But they're playing the winner. If the Mets win this game, they're playing the Mets. If the Brewers come back and win this game and the next one, they're playing the Brewers.
Rocky on baseball.
Rocky on baseball.
He followed baseball all year to get confused right now.
Well, you know, once football season started, I kind of got lost in the shuffle.
You ain't the only one.
Yeah.
All right, so we got to talk about a couple things. First being
Mutombo, rest in peace.
Yeah, R.I.P. Dikembe Mutombo. I'm sure that's been talked about a lot at this point. Who wants to sex Dikembe? You know what I mean? We know about this guy's legendary accomplishments on and off the court.
I went to a birthday. This is a horrible story, but I went to a birthday party. Probably about 20. It was right around the 2001 season when he was still in the Sixers. My cousin, his son, went to the same school as Dikembe Mutombo's son. So I went to a birthday party with Dikembe, and the only reason I went is because I thought Dikembe was going to be there, and he sent the nanny to the party. So I was like, "Fuck! Why did I come all the way up here? I could have just sent my wife."
Now,
was the nanny hot?
No, she was. I mean,
Mark, your wife is here.
Yeah, she was very.
Everyone wanted to ask the question. I asked the question.
Is Dikembe Mutombo's son as large as Dikembe, or
yes,
close?
He was a very large boy.
I've met Mutombo.
He actually, I think he was the one who just put out that heartfelt message on Instagram. Did you see that?
No, I didn't.
He looked pretty much exactly like Dikembe, except he's a little, and he's got like a puff fro. but I'm pretty sure that was the kid who was at the party. But I went there just to like stalk Matumbo, which I mean, I really wasn't going to stalk.
Now, Meech, you would know this, and I didn't.
It was at
see
a bowling alley, so I wanted to see him bowl.
I didn't see anything from Iverson about this, but I'm not as adept at social media as you are. Has there been any comment from the little guy?
I mean, I haven't seen anything, but that doesn't mean it. They both went to Georgetown. I'm sure he's got a close connection with the Dikembe Mutombo, but not like I know he didn't say anything. But why is this? Are you inferring something?
No. I was just wondering. Because I have this feeling they're pretty close.
I didn't see anything, but like everybody's got something good to say about Dikembe. I mean,
of course.
I met him. So when they signed him, right, the first day they brought him in, I used to work at PCOM. They practiced over on State Line Avenue. So I used to work there as an intern. And the day they brought him in, he was coming in. I was on the elevator, and they stopped. Oh, stop the elevator. Stop the elevator. I'm like, oh, shit, it's Mutombo. He comes in. He's so tall, he has to duck down and get in the elevator. And he's got his shoes over his shoulders, like they're, like you thumb over a clothesline. I've never seen shoes this big. These shoes took up the entire width of the fucking elevator. And he was the nice guy. I was like, oh, it's good to have you. Nice to meet you. He's like, oh, thank you. Cookie Monster voice. But
so I actually met him at the National Constitution Center because he was being honored. I think they gave him the Liberty Medal at one point. But my dad introduced me to him, and like his voice was just
so crazy.
It was just like
Cookie Monster.
When you hear it, you just cannot even.
Yeah.
It's wild, man. But
nice
seemed like a great dude. Obviously, part of that
great personality, man.
Fantastic,
awesome
Sixers
defensive
time
player.
period. I want to be like in the locker room to hear peak AI interacting with Dikembe and what that must have been like. Can you imagine, dude?
They were all about finding some women, man. That's what I'm thinking.
They're all about finding some women.
Anyway,
Not us these days.
I didn't mean to go off on that. The Dikembe Mutombo.
You know what we're here for?
There's no such thing as going off on a Mutombo tangent. He's the man. He deserved our few minutes of talking about him.
I thought what the emotion from the president of the Raptors, I'm sure you guys saw that. Was so pure. And so heartfelt. It really, I don't know. It just touched me. It just was like it was beyond basketball. It was just transformative for
you did a lot,
that
man.
guy. And
didn't he build a bunch of hospitals in Africa and stuff, man?
In Congo. And you know what? What's your name? I think D. Lynham it's either D. Lynham or Leslie Goodell. One of those blonde Comcast Sportsnet girls traveled with him. It's not, is that like prejudiced or something? I mean, but what I get them mixed up. One of them went to the Congo with him, I think, and watched them build hospitals.
Our guy Seamus is in the chat. He says, "Should I get the wings from Finks on Sunday?" Meech, what's the wing report? We can't really be talking about that right now. It's like sacrilegious. And I was going to say, by the way, we didn't come to Murph's to look for women. We came to Murph's for the wings. That's what we do at this point.
By the way, I already devoured 10 wings like that. I gave a couple to Mark. They were delicious, and I'm probably going to devour at least 10 more. Probably bring about 20 home to the kids because they're going to be fiending for them.
Seamus, you should get the wings at
Finks wings are incredible.
But
they're
on Wednesday
really
nights, 50-cent wings. Come to Murph's. This is the place to be.
Yep.
Now, Meech, earlier you offered anyone who said promo code City Pigeons when they walked in the door was going to get one wing from you. Have you had anyone take you up on that yet?
Zero offers. Actually, Mark said him and his family were going to take me up on it, but I said employees of City Pigeons podcast, advertisers, and family of talent are all exempt.
Yeah. That's
Am I an employee? I've never received a W-2 from the City Pigeons.
You're a partner. Neither principal.
Neither have I. So I'm going to maybe I'll buy you a wing and write it off.
We'll call it even.
Okay.
Send the bill to Jess.
We have some. They're baiting us into a controversy here because Seamus is asking us to rate the wings at Murph's, and then Blake is asking us what are the best wings in the city. So I got to say this. This reminds me of the cheesesteak debate where, you favor the home spot because it's close and you've been coming there forever. So to me, I'm going to go hands down. Murph's are the best wings because I come down here, wing night, whatever, after football. We love to get the wings here. So I'm biased. I'm going to take Murph's out of the equation. Obviously, we love Murph's. We love the wings here. But let's go ahead, Meech. How would you rate the wings here at Murph's? It is tough. But
no, it's not tough. I mean, obviously, I'm not going to.
You're not going to bury them.
Say their shit. Here's what I will say.
Yeah.
I asked for them well done, and they came out about 2 minutes later. and so they obviously weren't well done, but they were perfect. Like I asked for well done wings because some places don't know how
Extra
to fully
crispy.
cook their wings, and they give you some undercooked shit wings.
I don't know if we were getting a discount, but I think it's over.
You don't like raw chicken?
I got them. I ordered wings, and I got them about 3 minutes later, and I devoured 8 of them and gave 2 to Mark just because he looked so hungry when he walked in here.
Okay, go ahead.
But afterwards, I'm going to order some more. They were delicious.
It makes sense because it's wing night, right? So they're already prepped. They're already
Yeah.
they got
I'd
got
like
a lot
to say,
going on back
it's not like they just had someone else's order sitting back there, but they have enough wings sitting back there.
Show some respect. Show some goddamn respect.
I didn't say a bad word.
Yeah.
You maniac.
We got put in a tough spot here. We got put in a tough spot.
You put me in a tough spot. No one else did.
Okay.
I love their fucking wings.
Now let's do this, okay?
But you asked me an honest question, so I gave you the fucking answer.
You know what? I'm not even going to get into more wing talk. Here's the deal. I figured something out as this podcast started to begin. I figured something out. We have a controversy here because I don't know how many people know this, but Mark Goodhart's wife, Danielle, who's in the building, props, Danielle, we love you. And she's a real one. She knows what's up. She gambles and stuff. Super cool. But the problem is she's a Mets fan. Okay?
Boo.
Now, that I know how this Boo, Danielle.
Who wants to boo a Met fan right now?
Mets fan.
You don't have to boo your own wife.
I love it. He started.
What do you mean? Fink boos Devin every episode.
That's true. He
Yeah,
started
it's
a boo.
uncouth.
Okay. Now, here's the thing. I can kind of relate. My father-in-law is a Cowboys fan, so I've had to negotiate that.
Ooh,
but when
that's
your
way
wife,
worse.
I know. When your wife is a fan of the opposing team. Here's the thing, though. I saw Mark on the way as the podcast started. This is a controversy of a high degree. Okay. He started making eyes at Danielle and pointing to the fact that the Mets had taken the lead, insinuating that was a good thing because they could both go to the game at Citizens Bank Park, and I think that is fraudulent. It's almost like Mark is rooting for the Mets to advance so that he can have a good scenario with his wife, which is a violation as a Phillies fan. Your thoughts, Meech?
It's like a couple where one votes Republican and one votes Democrat just to cancel each other out. There's no point to the relationship if you're both going to act
Cease
like
and
that.
desist.
Yeah,
Mark, what do you have to say in your
he's
defense?
got to join up. He's got to become say, hey, listen. You know how you make sacrifices as a couple, like, hey, we're going to spend Thanksgiving at my parents' house, and then we're going to go to Christmas at your parents' house. You got to do the same thing with sports. There's no such thing as one Phillies and one Mets fan. It's not feasible.
I don't know, dude.
It's
they
not
seem
good.
pretty dug in. Mark, your thoughts?
First of all, there are a couple other points to the relationship that we won't get into all of them right now.
Excuse me, I want to get into that. Wait, what are you
This sounds like a juicy
What
Dr.
are these
Phil
other
episode.
points?
The other thing is,
children in here.
we are
Maybe I should get out of here and have Danielle come sit up here.
That sounds good.
we are celebrating Rosh Hashanah tonight with all of you lovely people here at Murphy's Irish Saloonery.
Happy
Very
Rosh
appropriate.
Hashanah.
Is that the correct term? Happy Rosh
Happy
Hashanah?
New Year.
Yeah, happy Rosh Hashanah. Yeah, happy New Year,
I
any of
should
that
know
stuff.
this.
Shana Tova, all that
Mazel
good
tov.
stuff.
I'm half Jewish.
So there's obviously a bunch
L'chaim.
of compromise going on because we are already here for the high holiday.
right.
But no, I want the Mets for many reasons. I want the Mets because I can go to the game with her and talk shit. She also hedges her Mets fandom now because she's been in Philly for 20 years. With I'm a Phillies fan too. And then at the same time, I just want the Mets. It will be raucous.
I want the Mets.
It will be pandemonium. There will be freaking brawls I'll be trying to shield my children from. I mean, who wants to play the Brewers
I don't know,
instead of the Mets? Bring them on. Let's get the Mets. Let's beat them down. And
Playing
let's
the
go to the
Brewers in
next round.
2008 was pretty damn fun. Meanwhile, this is the
CC.
hold on. Let me do some quick math. What's 24 minus 8 is what's that? 16 years.
You got it.
16 years ago, Shane Victorino at the Grand Slam of CC Sabathia. Tonight,
Who later appeared on the City Pigeons podcast from Lincoln Financial Field parking lot, folks.
And Brett Myers hit the bomb too. Don't forget.
Now here's the
he
thing.
didn't hit a bomb. He
In that series.
Let me tell you.
no, he didn't.
Oh, he walked. You're right. He
Yeah.
walked to set it up.
It was a
My
walk.
bad.
No, you're thinking
Sorry.
of Blanton. In the,
No.
And that was in the World Series.
No.
Okay. Let's get it. Let's get
No,
back.
let's not confuse things.
Let's get back
Sorry,
on track.
sorry. I'm
Happy
way
16th
confused over here.
anniversary
I
to
know.
Shane Victorino
Rock
at
doesn't
Grand
remember
Slam
any of
of
that.
CC
What?
Sabathia.
Listen, I've had a myriad of different emotions over the course of the past couple of days as I thought about what was going to happen. Careful on the table here, Rock. Not, you got to be very careful here.
Do I need to control any cameras or anything?
No. Yeah. Whatever you do, what we want you to do is not touch anything.
Okay.
Do not touch anything.
By the way, Jesse, is there a better date night than going to the game with your wife when she is cheering for the one team and you're cheering for the other? I mean, it's just a recipe for just energy.
That sounds like
passion.
No, it sounds like
it sounds horrible.
Yeah, you don't want to take your bikes.
It's like going to a concert where one person loves the performer and one person hates it. Like, what's the point?
Well, no, one person wins, one person loses.
Exactly.
And then you go home and there's just passion.
One person goes home extremely happy, especially in the playoffs, and one person goes home very. It's not a conducive to a relationship.
I want to point out
someone has to drop a team.
He has 2 children.
You got to drop the Mets.
He has 2 children here, and he's alluding to the fact that going to the Phillies Mets can end up being a passionate situation. Yeah. I don't know about this.
It's getting weird, man.
She's
also a Giants fan.
Well,
right?
It's proof that the Wings are so good here because my kids haven't even acknowledged this, and they're just going to be and Wings.
It's going to be like 3-3 in the bottom of the 9th, and them two are just going to start passionately kissing each other. This is the highlight of our relationship, baby.
All right, everyone, just chill for a minute. Okay, so.
I've been chill.
For me, I started having some anxiety about this Mets situation. You recall last episode, somebody asked what was the team we were most afraid of. Most people said the Padres. I said the Mets. And that is because the Mets are playing with that we weren't even supposed to be here, loose as a goose swagger, and that is a dangerous thing in the playoffs. See, for example, the New York Giants are going against the Patriots, in the Super Bowl, whatever, all that. Right, whereas the Phillies, were 30 games over 500. They won the division as they're supposed to. They're sitting there waiting. By the way, these 3-game series, can I just say, are rough because you lose that first game. We've seen a couple of situations where the home team loses the first game.
What do you mean a couple situations? Like every playoff series so far.
That pressure is unbelievable. Did you touch something?
I'm completely
playoff road teams are.
That's the cable box.
Mark. Oh my God.
Okay. I think Mark. Mark.
Pay attention to us.
The cable box.
Playoff road teams are 5-1 right now and leading in the 7th game.
Okay. Yeah. So I'm so glad the Phillies aren't in that situation. Remember last year they handled their business against the Marlins, right? The year before they were the ones who did it to the Cardinals. So I'm happy that the Phillies have the bye, but they're sitting here playing these inter-squad games, trying to stay fresh, and a team like the Mets, who's just loose as a goose going out to Milwaukee and shaking things up, they come in. I'm a little bit worried. And I'll tell you what, it's not only that they were hitting bombs against us. They were swinging free. You know what it's like when the Mets fans, you got to admit it, it's going to be a factor. If we play the Brewers, there's no Brewers fans. It's not a thing. We'll have the Rhys Hoskins effect, which should be interesting. But if we play the Mets, you and I both know they're going to infiltrate. They're going to pay whatever it takes to get in, and these cockroaches are going to come in. They're going to occupy our stadium, and there's going to be at least.
I don't think that's going to happen.
No, it is going to happen.
Here's why it's not
in mass, but there'll be enough. There'll be some.
There'll be some because the prices are so high. Do you know, as of yesterday, you could still buy a face value game ticket for the second round through the Mets website at Citi Field for the Phillies series. For face value, you could buy a ticket at Citi Field.
Really?
They're not going to infiltrate here for that amount if they're not even selling out their own stadium.
I'm sorry, they're going to infiltrate here because
some will.
The prices
some of the
will be lower.
Ones,
it'll be the Knicks Sixers phenomenon again.
No.
And how do you
Did you see the prices for the first 2 games here?
They're not that expensive.
It was $200 for a standing room only ticket,
which is way less than it was last year.
You can get a seat in the first level for face value in Citi Field.
Right, but face value in Citi Field is probably $500-$700.
No, it's $138.
Really?
You can get one for $78 up top.
Right.
I mean, they're cheaper.
Okay,
I feel like,
but they take a special joy in coming down here.
Yeah, who they? The New York
fans,
the New York Mets fans, or the New York Knicks fans?
The New York Mets fans. I mean,
they're all the
them,
same
for that matter.
I'm disappointed to hear this because I was planning on selling some tickets to some New York fans and making some money.
How dare you? Don't even say that, dude.
Do it.
Do not even say it. How dare you say it? If you sell tickets in the playoffs and you don't sell them to somebody you know who's a Phillies fan, you're a friggin' bum. Don't even say that. Please.
How much you getting
I'm
out?
ashamed that you're bringing your wife into the stadium as a Mets fan.
Sir, excuse me. How much you getting out from the ATM? We're doing a poll tonight. Hundo? That's what I typically go with. Guys, what do you get when you get
You
from
know what
the
I have to
ATM?
say to that, guys? JBMP.
Guys, this is a relative of JBMP, so we got a JBMP.
JBMP.
Yeah, you know my favorite denomination to take out of an ATM is $80, which sucks because you always it's never an option. You always have to say like other and type
80?
in 80 just to fuck with the system.
Okay.
It's less than 100,
sense,
and it's not if you do fast cash, it's always 60. So I'm fuck 60 and fuck 100. I'm right in the middle right there.
Okay.
80's my
listen,
ATM. You asked, man. You asked, so I gave you an answer.
This is the kind of stuff that I actually love. I would rather do a whole podcast on this. And by the way, when we set up at Murph's,
I would never voluntarily share this information, but since you asked, 80's my ATM denomination.
So when we set up at Murph's, we have one spot, and it's got to be by the ATM. And the camera tripod is precariously close to the ATM. Someone could easily screw this whole thing up. But the last time we were here,
point at the ATM last time.
So the last time we were here, we did
check
ask
for PIN codes
as they were going to ATM
his number.
what they were taking out. And here's the question I have for you guys: when you see the fee, now let me ask you this:
that factors in. There's always a fee.
Okay, but
that's why I do the 80.
This is a dumb question, but help me out here. Do you see the fee before you select the amount or after?
I don't give a shit. I just assume it's $350. That's always
before.
She's going to tell us right now.
Okay, here we go. When you see the fee, if you're like $4 and you're taking $100, that's 4%.
Excuse me. How much you planning on taking out of the ATM?
Oh, she's going 60. Okay,
the average of the two is 80.
So you just do do you just do the fast cash, or do you actually type in the 60?
No, she types in the 60. Okay, now here's my question to you. Do you realize when you take out a lower amount, the percentage you're paying on the fee is higher, right? Oh, you got cash back. She got cash.
She bucks the system.
It comes back. Hell yeah.
Last question. What's your PIN number?
Thank you for playing along with ATM.
This has been ATM fun from the City Pigeons podcast.
I think we should do the whole episode on this. This is so much
who's
better.
Who's
you
taking
now
out
have
money
the
next?
youth's attention. Look at this. He's like, "Ooh, money."
All right. So I just honestly, I don't.
I'm guessing your PIN's 6415. Am I close?
Whoa.
All right.
Get out of here.
Okay, Meech. Real quick, we know
you forgot your card.
Wow.
Damn. That's a real life moment right there.
That's the receipt.
What's coming out of there?
You forgot your receipt.
You forgot someone else's card.
All right.
The one you stole.
Don't you always wish there's that extra 20? It just never happens. You know what I mean?
So does anybody else's wife walk around casinos, speaking of extra cash, walk around casinos looking for chips that people drop on the floor? Because my wife constantly is walking around casinos looking for chips that people drop on the floor.
Damn. It's so messed up because he just segued into that. She's here.
Yeah, this is getting awkward between you two. I don't like this.
I love it.
Can you leave the wives out of this?
There's plenty of people out there talking about the Phillies. There's not a lot of people talking about ATM. Can I get the fact?
It reminded me of her looking for chips on the floor. The extra cash in the ATM. The chances are the same.
We got our man Dane taking care of us here at the bar.
Dane.
Murph's is the best. Come in, get some beers, tip the bartenders.
Yeah. Tip your goddamn bartenders.
Awkwardly spy on people as they use the ATM. Okay, let's get it back to the Phillies.
What do you think there's a bigger chance of? Extra cash in the ATM or a loose chip on the floor of the casino?
Loose chip on the floor, man. It's not even
loose chip easy. It's probably better to look at slots and see bonuses or random money people just left sitting in slots.
All right. Refocus. Okay, so here's what I know. I know Mark is rooting for the Mets because he's acting like, oh, I want the Mets, but he really wants it to be cool with his wife and hopefully have some passion there. I am a little bit scared. And by the way, I do listen to the radio, and Jack Fritz was really freaking me out, man. He's all freaked out about the situation. That wasn't helping me at all on the way over. Meech, what do you think about Mets Brewers? What do you want here?
Here's my honest opinion, and I'm not trying to sound like I honestly don't give a shit. You have to play the best players in the playoffs, the best teams in the playoffs. So let the chips fall where they may, and
onto the floor where Danielle can find them.
Onto the casino floor.
I see what you did there.
But honestly, here's the thing. You can't hurt me anymore. I've seen the Phillies lose 2 games to the Arizona Diamondbacks with a blue-haired Lourdes Gurriel hitting like doubles every at bat he comes up. You can't hurt me. I'm expecting the worst.
Also,
so
by the way,
anything else is the greatest feeling on earth. Just do your thing, Philly. So
okay.
I believe in you. No, I do care.
No, who we play.
But I don't care who we play. I think it would be better if we played Milwaukee, just because fans of Philly would probably make up a trip to take over half that stadium on the one road game that we'll need to defeat them.
If you think about
it, it'll be a 3-game sweep. But I would love. We've never played the Mets in our. How long have we been a team? 118 years.
He wants them too.
We've never played the Mets in the playoffs.
What?
It's got
because it used to be impossible.
No, not really. It just couldn't happen until the NL Championship Series.
No, it couldn't, because when you're in the same division until 20 years ago.
Once they became the World.
My buddy Jake hit me up on this today. Jake, our boy from Human Robot. Shout out, Jake. And he's like, how have the Mets and the Phillies never played in the playoffs in 60 years? And I was like, well, if you recall, do you guys realize how crazy it was? When the Phillies made the playoffs in 1993,
just them and the Braves.
It's 2 divisions, and 2 teams go. And if you recall, the Braves were not in our division.
Right, they were.
Right, because he goes, we played the Braves a ton. I'm like, well, dude, you got to go back and look. The Mets were in our division. To Mark's point, there's no way we could have played them. So you guys are making me like more hyped up for this. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. And see, this is the problem with me as a fan. I don't even think about the prospect of the Mets coming in and us just kicking their ass, and like Danielle has to just deal with that, and we're just holding it over her for the rest of the year.
Yes.
I think only about the prospect of us losing, how terrible that could be.
No, listen, it's definitely a mindset a lot of people have, and it would be devastating for me. If we lost to the Mets in a playoff series, it would be devastating. Like, I don't know if I'd be able to get over that.
We would have lost to the Mets and the Knicks in the same year.
Ooh.
I mean,
although interestingly, kind of like related, we've got a decent amount of playoff losses to the Cowboys.
So wait,
you remember the air guitar game and all that?
Yeah.
That shit hurt, man.
So wait, aren't typically Mets fans Jets fans, or Mets fans are Brooklyn fans? Isn't there like some sort of like?
You're confusing me a little bit.
Yeah.
My understanding was that it's Yankees, Jets, Mets, Giants.
No, opposite.
Yeah, it's opposite.
Traditionally, it's Yankees, Giants, and Mets, Jets. And the reason it's Mets,
Jets. 2 of the teams are in New Jersey.
Sorry.
One's in Queens, and
one's in the But the reason it's Mets, Jets is because the Jets have traditionally run training camp out at Hofstra in Long Island.
Okay. Can I tell you? I've got a lot of friends.
Care.
No, I've got a lot of friends from New York, and I can think of a few of them that are specifically Yankees, Jets, and then Giants, Mets.
There are people that break it. Don't get me wrong, but it's traditionally Giants, Yankees, Mets, Jets.
Who cares?
There's plenty of people that.
How do the basketball teams align? I'm just curious. Like, I don't think that these Mets fans are coming down like you think they are, bro. I don't think they are.
Listen, they've always come down. Okay, they come down for all the series.
Who lines up? Who do we?
Mets fans have always come
down. Who do we match
down,
up better against?
Well,
who's the professional here that can tell me who?
That's a great question, and I don't think any of us are qualified to answer it.
No, honestly, it doesn't matter. You could say the Detroit Tigers were outmatched, and they just sweat on the road, won 2 games. The road teams are right now 5-1 in the playoffs, not including this game in which the Mets are winning, which would make it 6-1. I don't know did the Braves.
Yeah, the only home team to win is San Diego over Atlanta, and no one like Atlanta's. They're a house of cards,
and
and they're losing.
The Braves are about to take the lead in the top of the first. It's right now. The road teams have won every game except the Padres last night. So, you can't call it.
So you're saying no matter who we play, the road team's coming in and beating us.
No, I'm just saying it's going to be a battle. And the Phillies are the good thing about them, they're battle tested. They all have playoff experience, which is the edge they have over these other guys. But in the end, it doesn't mean anything. The Diamondbacks had no playoff experience last year. It was a bunch of rookies, a bunch of I'm
a little worried about you because you
guys
don't believe anything means anything. Like, you're never going to feel good. And by the way,
that traumatized me last year when you have it's what you play all year for, to get games 6 and 7 at home, and all you need is one to win a series against a shitty team, like an up and coming shitty team that has no business making it to the World Series. You have to look forward to the journey. They're going to win games. Games are going to be awesome. You're going to have like Reese Hoskins bike spat. You're going to have those kinds of bat spike, not bike spat. Bat spike. You're going to have those kind of moments. It's going to be incredible just because that's how play. And you're going to have those moments where you'll have agita and you're going to wish you're not watching baseball, but hopefully it'll pay off in the end. That's all I hope for.
But you're giving me a little anxiety because if you think about it, you guys remember 2 years ago,
playoff baseball gives me anxiety.
We did a podcast.
There's nothing like playoff baseball. I'm sorry, Jesse. Go ahead.
We did a podcast. Remember, out at Creative Outfit Studios. It was Podcasting on My Own was the name of the podcast. And at that point, we were up, I believe, 2-1, and it looked like we had the whole thing, And that happened. We lost. Then last year looked like we had it. We lost. I just don't even know. I guess you're right. Just live in the moment, one game at a time. But damn.
You guys all sound real shook about this scenario, man.
I'm not shook. I'm like right now. I'm just shook. Like you can't hurt me. I'm there and I'm going to experience it. I'm going to enjoy it.
He's
and
so hurt you can't hurt him anymore.
If we lose,
you're a beaten man. It's understandable.
Yeah, I'm a beaten man. Same thing with the Sixers. I'm going to have.
Aren't you a little worried though that the team is a beaten man?
The Sixers might win 65 games this year. They're that good,
guys. We cannot get in the Sixers. We're not there yet.
No, I'm just.
Can we talk about the Flyers?
I'm just giving you a correlation, something to relate to here.
Number 39.
This is where I'm at. Especially with the Eagles, man. Like last year, they sucked at the end of the year, but they were good in the beginning. Maybe they'll switch it this year. I don't know. Their next 4 games are against really shitty teams, so they could easily win the
transition. He tried to transition into the Sixers, then the Eagles, all over the place.
We somehow lost the game on
what
TBA,
else could we talk about the Phillies when they're not playing a team? We don't even know who they're playing.
Let's go, baby.
Yeah.
Gives a fuck.
Here's the question, though. Do you guys is this whole Mets fans coming to Philly? It's a sad commentary on the state of the ticketing business.
Mark's selling his tickets to
it's a resale. It's people like Mark who are like, I want to sell them to the highest priced Mets fan. Sorry, Mark.
I'm a fraud. I have season tickets to all 4 major sports. How am I a fraud?
Because you're
selling. Sell the playoffs to opposing fans.
We want you to go broke.
Yeah. No, you could sell them to Philly fans.
Here we go. Mark, would you? If you had the chance,
minus the
to sell your tickets at top value
fees,
to a Mets fan, knowingly you're selling to a Mets fan, or give your ticket away to one of the biggest Philly fans that's out there, which one are you going to do?
I'm gonna give them away. I think history tells it. I give away tickets every day.
Okay.
I have outside pressure from the other side of my household. To maybe recoup a couple bucks on this dumb investment.
When you're spread across all 4 teams.
I feel you.
Damn.
I'd probably sell them, I ain't gonna lie. I'm like, sorry, cancer
That's
kid.
The problem
you got to go to the next game.
Well, back in the day, you had to just sell them to some sketchy guy in the parking lot. Now you can just go online, We're losing our
JBMP.
We're losing our support.
Hey, see you guys Tuesday for the 100th episode.
You have to come.
Yeah.
All right. By the way,
see you next Tuesday.
They really just
let's
said
go.
CUNT.
See you next Tuesday.
Yo.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I like that. That's a good acronym. That'll be.
I actually thought you were coming, but you're not going to come.
Oh, wait, whoa.
Yeah. Can we get this back together?
What the hell, man?
These
are regular words in the English language. Stop twisting that.
That's good for the flyer. The see you next Tuesday.
Listen, the truth is, this is our 99th episode, and there's going to be a 100th episode next week. And I'm in the process of lining up an epic party at the Coop with our partners at Kenwood, who are generous enough to be sponsoring us and providing the beer. And provided that the game is at a reasonable hour, we will have a game watch party for the Phillies, Game 3. And everyone can come and drink beer and be merry with us as we celebrate the 100th episode of the City Prince podcast.
Are we going to have a special guest?
No idea.
We haven't talked about the timing of this, but now if it's an early game, can we have a watch party and then do the episode? And if it's a late game, do the episode and then have the watch party?
So I got to say, these unknown game times really screw up my life. But here's my conclusion.
Either way, I'm in.
Okay.
I'll take off Tuesday.
Should we take the kids out of school? Is that what you're saying? Absolutely. For the 100th episode?
Yeah. I mean, without question. It's like the
Okay.
Eagles parade. It's the same thing. Okay. But here's what I realized. I think, you look at on Sunday, you've only got 2 games, right? And on Sunday, they're doing 4 o'clock, 8 o'clock, I think, right? But
It's a weekend.
what I know is Tuesday is only 2 games as well. It's not the 4 games. And so as a result of that, on a weekday, my belief is they will do like 6:30, 8:30.
Yeah, that's what
because they want a double dip on prime
yeah.
time. They're not going to put a 4 o'clock game unless they have to.
Especially if the other game is it LA? The other game?
Yes, it's got to be. It's Dodgers. So my thought is we'll get the early game, maybe 6:30. We might just do the episode.
Or it's Tuesday 1 NL and 1
It's
AM.
not. It's not LA because it's an away game for the Dodgers.
No.
Yes.
No,
They have home field.
Yeah, they have home.
Right.
So it's
Right.
game 3. So it could be San Diego. Obviously, then it's still West Coast. Wow, LA, San Diego,
It'll be
great
San
series.
Diego,
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Or Atlanta, but it's not going to be Atlanta.
So likely to be. My point is, I think it'll be early. In which case, we could do the podcast after the game. We know by doing the podcast after games like the other day, it is a risk.
That was terrible.
Yo, you know what? Not only was it terrible. I mean, I didn't watch it back because I was totally frustrated with it. But I went home and I was like, I probably don't agree with 90% of the stuff I said. It was just in the heat of the moment. I don't like doing shit in the heat of the moment.
That's when you get the truth out of you. You know what I mean?
You know what sucks is, I was on a flight yesterday from LA, and it was 5 hours. And you get on the plane, and I was planning on listening and watching the podcast on the way home. And because I wasn't there Sunday, obviously.
All right.
And you get on the plane, and is there a worse announcement when you're taking off from LA? Sorry, the good news is we're going to take off on time. The bad news is the internet is not working on this plane. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
Horrible news.
You just stare at the seat in front of you.
I watched the free. Actually, Jesse, I wanted to ask you about this. I watched this documentary that was free and somehow came through on the free American Airlines 100-foot wave. The documentary.
Yes.
That's wild. Unbelievable.
Very familiar.
It's wild.
Have you watched it?
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
By the
Yeah,
way,
but that's on you though that you did not download the episode before you got on the plane.
Woo, but I'm
He's got a
assuming the internet works.
You can't make assumptions.
Yeah,
You know,
Why? I have a
makes an
monthly
ass out of you.
subscription to American Airlines internet.
of course you do. Listen,
it doesn't
even
matter.
if you do, it wouldn't be good enough to stream it. You'd want to download it anyway. You can use the in-flight entertainment. But let's not get into this. 100-foot wave, I got to tell you.
Amazing.
The last flight I took was Frontier to Florida.
Yeah,
So
you ain't
I have
got
I have
internet
no,
on that,
yeah,
boy.
I have no stake in this conversation.
Yeah, that's bad. Okay.
they got
so-
internet on Frontier?
They don't have shit on Frontier. You're not even allowed to bring anything in your pockets.
You got to pay to breathe the air on that flight.
But 100-foot wave, dude. I mean,
It's $50
I had
just to
somebody
put
say
something
100
in
wave,
the
I'm
front
waiting.
pouch in your seat.
Okay, 100-foot wave. I want you guys to know. So I actually I went to Portugal, and in fact, I went to Portugal with the esteemed Radical Squirrel and his brother Trevor, my guys, and we planned on that because we went for the Eagles Jaguars game in London.
amazing.
So we went to Portugal, then we went to London, and while in Portugal, we surfed at Nazaré, which is
Did you?
Yes, it is the.
You fucked with that shit?
Now listen.
I've seen it. Well, it's not like 100-foot. I've seen it too. I was
What
there,
do
actually.
you know? You almost drowned when there was not a wave to be seen. Please do not
You
talk to
fucked
me.
with Nazaré?
Please let me tell the story. Okay, so we go to Nazaré, and it's obviously look. We don't have the proper training to even or I wouldn't do that. What they do, okay? You got to be in that mindset. But we went out to Nazaré,
Soft.
and on the day we went out to Nazaré, it was probably an proper 8 to 10 foot day, and for me that was as scary as it gets. And Trevor and Brad can attest, I couldn't really get in. I mean, the waves, it's interesting when you watch a 100-foot wave documentary, the waves are breaking way far out. When it's not that big, they actually break closer in, and so there's so much energy right by the beach, it's very hard to get in.
And they showed it. It comes right on the sand. It's unbelievable.
When I was there, I
was,
dropped in, Mark. You should have seen me out there, dude. Killed it.
You did nothing of the sort. Anyway, so yeah,
I
that
got-
was
I'm
intense. Nazaré.
I don't even understand it, and I was blown away.
What was it? Anything like The 1987 classic "Back to the Beach," "Humunga Cowabunga" from Down Under.
No.
Leash, how do you know all these random ass? That's
By the way, if you get a chance, the movie North Shore.
Annette Funicello and Frankie Valli, correct?
What?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Frankie Valli.
North Shore
You
was
guys
the
don't know
original
"Back to the
surf lake.
Beach"? 1987 classic, I think.
The other crazy part about watching that documentary, though, as you bring up our guys, is the whole time I'm like, I can't wait to get off this plane, and like I need to ask Trevor if he was like involved in this and filming this, because just insanity, like
not involved, but our buddy Jamie, he'd probably give it a go. He might think about it. Okay, transition. Let's get off the 100-foot wave real quick. Although I do appreciate.
Sorry, I diverted.
Let's get off the "Humunga Cowabunga" from that. Jesse, I know you saw that movie when you were a kid.
I gotta you just send me a link. I don't know.
Who the hell's? I heard that Frankie Valli name before. I just don't know. That's a local guy.
Bird
right?
is the word. Like you don't remember any of this shit?
Memories.
Come on, man.
Okay,
1987.
Now I had an interesting situation go down with my Saturday plan, right? Because I told you guys there was this scenario. My daughter is a huge Billie Eilish fan. She's been dying to go to the Billie Eilish concert, and it just so happens that the Billie Eilish concert's on Saturday, and we didn't know what time the game was. And I was trying to figure out how to play this because honestly, I usually like to be in the building on the first playoff game because you can just feel the fever pitch and the moment where it just like pops off, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, damn, I need to go Saturday. And I thought like my wife was going to go with her and it was going to be cool. But then she was like, Dad, I want you to go with me. And like, I got a bit of a background in music and I know what it's like to like feel the vibe of being in a concert. And I was like, I cannot disappoint my daughter, So we got the 2 tickets to Billie Eilish.
By the way, I got a bunch of boys. I can never imagine one of them going, Dad, I want you to take me. It's just not a feeling for me. But go ahead. I'm sorry.
Nah, it's all good. So
I'm envious.
Yeah, she wanted to go to this concert. She wanted me to take her, but I knew game 1 was going to be Saturday. And at first I was like, I kind of want to go. And I was kind of trying to figure out like how I could get tickets and like whatever. So I just decided, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to go on Sunday, man. I'm going to punt the first game. I don't even know what it's going to be. It could be at the same time. It's not going to be a good look for me to prioritize that. So I punted the first game, and I'm like, I'm going to go to game 2. And then I was just praying that I wouldn't have the 2 up against each other, right? So the game times come out, 4 o'clock on both days. So that's good because I know I can at least I should have the ability to watch a Phillies game. But now I'm thinking about how do I work this, right? Because during the Phillies game, like I got to get down into the concert, which shouldn't start until like kind of after the fact. So I'm trying to figure this out. And like, I'm wondering what you guys would do.
What time's the concert start?
So the concert probably starts like 8, but Billie Eilish.
Is there an opener?
Yeah, who's the opener?
There is.
Is it Armani White?
No, somebody Wolf and
Black
whatever.
T-shirt,
Doja Cat. Is it Doja Cat?
Yeah, he was at the Jimmy Garecki thing. Yeah.
Who? I'd like to see Billie
Armani
Eilish.
White.
I'm thinking
He's
about
one of
going
those
from
that-
the Phillies game to the Billie Eilish
T-shirt,
concert.
Billie Eilish.
Yo, I think it's going to be cool.
I agree.
Tell me
So
it's
it's interesting Meach brings that up because my daughters would much rather. 99% of the things that they do, I'd say my daughters don't want to do with me over my wife because she's just nicer than me. But concerts, they'd rather do with me.
Dad is a
So,
private concert.
Logan, are you going to Billie
I
Eilish?
went to Drake
Why not?
with Avery. Avery just told me she wants to
Does
go
Dad-
next
does Dad
Tuesday.
not get you
Who do you want to
tickets?
see next Tuesday, Logan?
Logan.
Gracie Abrams next Tuesday she wants to see.
So
Of
you're
course,
buying it?
That's the 100th episode. I said, we're going to the 100th episode party.
You got a similar problem.
Here's some shit. The first concert I ever went to, I was 14 years old. I would never in my life let my parents take me to a concert. I don't care what it was.
For real?
I would never go hang out with my parents at like a music venue. And
Sounds like a terrible time, man.
when you're a little
Okay,
kid, though,
yeah, hold on. My daughter's 10. She
Right.
can't go by herself.
no, I'm just saying, like, I would never. I would rather not ever see somebody live than have my parents take me, which is a testament to you guys that you're cool enough to do that. I guess my parents just weren't. Like,
My first concert was with my parents. I saw
if
Tina Turner. I swear to you, in 1984, I was 8 years old. I saw Tina Turner, the What's Love Got to Do with It.
hell
tour,
yeah, hell yeah.
With my whole family. Could you imagine seeing that show now?
Hold on,
How
I can
unreal.
top that a little bit. My first concert, I believe, was my parents. It was either Billy Joel or Huey Lewis in the News. But I was supposed to go see Michael Jackson with my mom
in the bulletproof thing.
No, it was JFK?
JFK Stadium.
At JFK, and it poured and it got canceled. I never saw Michael Jackson.
Like I can see, I got my sister takes her daughters to Taylor Swift, and they have a great time. They all enjoy it. But I couldn't imagine taking my kids to like a concert and being like, "Hey, dude, we all enjoy.
Okay, can
we
I say
enjoy
something
the same music. We're both hip, man." Like
not only does she want me to go with her,
shit.
she said, "I know what I want you. I got your outfit." She goes, "I want you to be full Adam Sandler, baggy like mesh basketball shorts and a oversized Phillies jersey." I'm like, this could work out well. I'm gonna dovetail the two events together. I think it's gonna be good.
You don't wear a Phillies jersey?
Yeah, but the problem is I don't have like a big oversized one.
Well, here's my counter to your conundrum. All right.
Sure.
This may have been a problem 10, 15 years ago. Nowadays, in the age of YouTube TV, play pitch by pitch in your phone,
right.
Having TVs all around where you're at, like you'll be able to get.
Okay, but here's the thing:
play-by-play updates, and even pretending that you're hanging out with your daughter. You know, be like
the problem is
check it on the side,
but I got to get
or
there.
have it propped up somewhere where you could still pay attention and every once in a while look down at it.
But I've tried to do this.
That's the great part about 2024.
I could, for example, if I was like a gamer, go down there at like 2 p.m. and post up Xfinity Live and watch the whole game and then just roll the concert. Daughter's probably not going to be down with that. So the truth is, I'm going to be like mobilizing to the concert while I'm trying to watch the game. It's not that
YouTube TV on the iPhone. It's easy as shit.
Rock, would you rather
I was in my son's baseball. I don't mean to interrupt. I was at my son's baseball game last night, freezing cold, and 8-year-olds baseball games, they might get up one time in an hour. So in the times that they weren't on the field and weren't at bat, I'm watching the playoff games on YouTube TV on my phone. I'm like, this is the greatest.
It's nice that you came around to YouTube TV.
I love it so much, man. I would recommend it to anybody. It's $74 compared to I had Verizon boxes in like 9 rooms in my fucking
City
house.
Pigeons,
I had about
YouTube
75
TV.
Verizon boxes that I had to pay individually to rent each fucking month.
Can I ask you guys a question? Do you think it's any coincidence that this particular area of the bar right here that is adjacent to us is completely empty? That is the only spot in the whole bar that's empty.
We can smell your breath.
Totally empty.
Ew.
Except for my family. Everyone else has left.
You know what I realized too?
Rock, would you rather go to the Billie Eilish concert or the Phillies playoff game on Saturday?
I'd rather go to the Phillies playoff game.
Okay.
It's not a question. I don't even know any Billie. I mean, I know who Billie Eilish is, but if you ask me, like, give me the name of a Billie Eilish song, I wouldn't be able to tell you. I'm not saying she's a bad artist, but I just don't know any of her stuff.
Okay. You know what I realized today as I was contemplating why exactly we are doing what we're doing?
Wait. Before I go on, what do you do with those tickets, Jess?
What?
What'd you do with those tickets?
I don't have tickets. I have to like acquire them through different channels.
All right, never mind then.
He sold them to a Mets fan.
Nah, I would never. No, but today, as I was contemplating what I'm doing with my life and the fact
Rock, you need to show your Penn diploma on the way into the stadium to use the tickets. So, like, you just can't, like, substitute people for that. You know what I mean?
I love that you thought about that after I started talking about the next thing. Like, if it came right away, it would have worked.
I went to Drexel, close enough, right?
Anyway, my point is this. Today, as I was contemplating
the Penn Mafia. Sorry, go ahead.
You did it again.
Contemplating.
You doubled down. Okay. Why we do this and why we're on 99 and we've got 100 coming up. I realize I get to go to Murph's with my friends and sit in the corner and drink beers. And that in and of itself is the reason.
I feel like I was just here drinking beer in the corner.
Yeah, you were here for like 8 hours the other day.
No cameras.
Thank you.
Was that after football?
I was sitting at that chair right there for
another
about 8
Sunday
hours.
I didn't play. I gotta keep remembering.
That was the day after we played golf, or that weekend after I don't know, whatever. Anywho,
all right, so we're pretty far into this whole thing.
So just in the like 40 minutes we've been sitting here, I got 6 PIN numbers.
50.
I'm going to try and pickpocket a couple ATM cards on the way out.
Nice.
No one has used the cigarette machine in the hour.
Yo, cigarettes are completely out, man. Remember when we were growing up, cigarettes were cool. Everyone was smoking. The kids hate cigarettes. Cigarettes are disgusting to kids now.
That was a pack and a half a day.
Good for the kids.
Good for the kids, man. You know what it was? It was those.
Logan, do you know any 8th graders who smoke actual cigarettes, Logan? No? That's good news.
It was all those truth.com commercials.
Yeah.
The lady with
the truth.com killed him.
You want me to be real?
And I wasn't asking that to be any kind of way. Like when I was in 8th grade, I was not smoking cigarettes, but I definitely knew people who were.
Yeah, I was.
Well, we heard that story. That's why you got cut from the basketball team.
No, that was freshman year. But back in 8th grade, I was getting. Remember Rob, the dude in Ocean City, worked at Wawa. He would drop cartons of Newports, and he would be like, buy a thing of orange juice and drop a carton of Newports in there. Anyway, that's beside the point.
You had all the Wawa hustles.
I got a son that I caught with those fucking. He's still in grade school with those Zin fucking packets.
Oh, that's what's hot.
Damn.
Yeah, we had a little talk. Me and
what'd you do?
with my son.
Was it like the talk when you were in the car with your dad?
The funny thing was, it was my wife smelled his breath. She's like, "Your breath smells really good. Is that gum you got?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's gum." And she's like, "Well, let me. What kind is it? Let me see." And he's like, "Nah, it's not gum. Don't worry." And he like put it in his hand, and she's like, "Open up your hand."
Wait, how old is this kid?
He's in grade school still.
Oh my god.
What's grade school?
Gully up in
8th
the
grade.
Northeast.
Oh,
These are the leaders.
Logan, do you know anyone who zins
Hell
in
yeah.
8th
She
grade?
knows half her grades in.
Oh, that was a yes. There you go.
She is so bothered.
Is it
by
Meech's
this.
son? Is that who you know?
She is so bothered by you, dude. Leave her alone. All right. Do we need to
Talk about the Eagles?
Yeah, it's
Here's my Eagles timeline that I can a quick rundown of my Eagles timeline since the game ended. All right,
I'm taking a break, by the way.
I think Jalen Hurts came out and gave some monotone, unemotional talk about how they have to get better. We have our moments, and we got to work at it, and that was really cool. And then after that, Isaiah Rodgers gave an interview to where he said he thought it was fine to push a guy into Reed Blankenship to draw a penalty. He thought that was cool.
Wait,
but then again, this is the same guy who thought it was cool to make bets against his or on his own team in the team facility. Yeah. So you have to look at his judgment.
How do you think that would draw a penalty?
It makes no sense to me. Then after he realized that everyone on Twitter was making fun of him, he came out and said, how about instead of saying, all right, I fucked up, I made a mistake, he said, how about I come down to your job and see if you stock the shelves wrong?
That's the worst.
And like,
no,
that's the wrong play. Then
You think?
Then the next thing that happened was Darius Slay went on Micah Parsons, who is our division rival, went on his podcast, and they both laughed and made fun of a play that CJGJ blew.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Darius Slay blew a play in the end zone where the guy had a wide open and he dropped it, and then Darius Slay was making like the
Darius
sign
Slay
like he
set
did
the tone
anything.
of that game by giving up that 12-yard pass to Mike Evans, the first play of the game.
Then did you see what Saquon did?
No.
Saquon was booked on Dan Patrick's show.
No, Saquon didn't do anything wrong.
No. Listen. He was booked on Dan Patrick's show, and he said, "Listen, we had a really bad game, and I think it would be in bad taste if I came on your show and talked about anything about our team."
Oh, so he did the right thing.
So he has enough sense,
to
say like, "Hey, it would be in bad taste."
Build around
if I
Saquon.
Like. You need more Saquons, less
No,
Slays.
you know what you need? You know what you need? Like the Yankees, right? So I was talking with my homie Blake, actually, at work last week about how the Yankees had that whole scenario with the dude who cut his hair.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how the hell is that rule still in place and like people found it? Because like you do what you want, right? As an organization, as a private entity or whatever. If I'm a private entity in any kind of sports, if I own a sports team, I'm like, look, if you're going to be a part of this team, you got no social media accounts. I don't want to see no social media shit from you. Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. I don't want to see none of that. Well, because all that stuff does is lead to bad stuff. I understand you got to make some money and all that. Yeah,
I understand what you're saying, but in this day and age, that's impossible. What you have to do is have those symposiums and have classes for these guys. They do. They do. Before they even enter the facility, before they enter the league, but they just don't listen to it. They don't give a shit. Like, dude, this Isaiah Rodgers, you know how many rules he must have broke to bet on his team within the practice facility? You know how stupid that is? And then, so of course he thinks it's okay to push his own guy or push a defender into his own guy. Like, of course he thinks that's fine.
I want you off of social media altogether.
I want him off the team.
You know, this might be a good
segue.
This might be a good segue that Jesse will appreciate. But in baseball, they have signs in the locker room. It's the number one rule: no betting on baseball. They do not have the signs in any other locker room.
I saw Irving Fryer talk about it because he's one of the guys that holds the symposiums for every rookie that comes into the league, and it's written on every locker room in the NFL. You can't bet in the facility. You can't bet on football. You can bet on basketball in the offseason. That's how LeBron James is a DraftKings sponsor. He can bet on football because he's not in the league. You can't be in the league, which is a good segue, which leads me to Pete Rose.
That's what I was thinking.
This guy just died. Now, regardless what you think, the MLB has every right to ban him for life. He ruined the sanctity of the game. It's you can't bet on baseball for your team, against your team while you're the manager. It's against every ethics that there should be, which is the same reason they banned these guys, the shoeless Joe Jackson and that 8 men out 1919 whole thing. I get it. All right. But here's my gripe. I can't stand the Baseball Hall of Fame.
I agree.
They're so fucking annoying.
Holier than thou.
First of all, you want
to live in a glass house?
They're not even associated with the MLB, right? It's completely separate from the MLB. Yeah. The Baseball Hall of Fame has nothing to do with Major League Baseball. So Major League Baseball can ban Pete Rose, they can ban Barry Bonds, they can ban Shoeless Joe, they can ban whoever they want, but
baseball the other day said the 3 best players are not in there.
Yeah, it's Clemens, Bonds, and Pete Rose. Yeah. Easy.
And he's an idiot.
But but he's funny.
Yeah.
Now, but listen, the Baseball Hall of Fame,
and I'd argue Clemens, but Bonds and Rose
it's a museum. Right. It's a museum of
the history of the game.
So it doesn't matter what you've done, as long as you're part of the history of baseball. And if you're the number one hit leader or you're the number one home run leader of all time, you deserve a spot in that museum. That would be like if the National Constitution Center didn't put Thomas Jefferson in because he was a racist.
Yeah, and each compares Thomas Jefferson to Pete
and he
Rose.
Impregnated slaves. Like they'd be like, okay, because he's not allowed. He was the main curator of the Declaration of Independence. You can't change history. He did some horrible shit, but you just mention that, and you could put that with Pete Rose's plaque.
But there's already
say he bet on baseball and he disgraced the game, but just make that part of the history. It's part
there's
of the history
already
of baseball.
Cheaters, drug addicts, child molesters, drunks, gamblers, all in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, that's the one thing.
All in the Hall of Fame.
If you're gonna have all these people who've done these heinous things. This guy, people bet. So you look at Michael Jordan. How many games do you think Michael Jordan bet on? You know what I'm saying? It's just like gambling comes with sport. Like, first of all, gambling comes with being a competitor, right? If you're a professional athlete, you're a competitor. You're probably going to gamble once or twice here, especially like as easy as they make it is now. But back in the day, I'm sure
you just can't gamble on your own sport.
Whatever, just let the dude in, man. It is a little bit ridiculous. But who cares, right? So it's like, is it all right? You said it's not affiliated with MLB,
the only cool Hall of Fame is the basketball one, because it don't matter how you contributed to basketball. Like Chris Mullin is in the Hall of Fame. His NBA career is not worthy of a Hall of Fame, but if you include his St. John's career, his two USA Gold Olympics, his coaching career, he's a Hall of Famer. Arvydas Sabonis is in the Hall of Fame. He didn't even come into the NBA until he was like 33, 34 years old. But his international game and the Basketball Hall of Fame puts women in who contributed earlier. Like it's a museum. And when you go into a museum for a sport, it should incorporate the good, the bad, everything important that happened and is about the sport. And man, I was at the Baseball Hall of Fame when I was a kid. It was my dad took me. It was cool, but I mean, it's fucking corny. They can make it better if they weren't so weird about it, man.
You know, well, baseball's a weird sport. It's a little bit dry. It's a little
Rocky
lame,
on baseball.
By the way, they should also put, while we're on the subject, they should also put Dave Parker in the Hall of Fame. I just need to say it while we're on the subject. Dave Parker.
Who's that?
There's a million baseball players whose contribution can't be matched to whether it was statistics or just through philanthropy, and they won't induct them because
they have this
all
like
the writers
exclusivity
weird,
thing.
Man.
It's like
the baseball writers hold grudges against guys because they didn't give them interviews. It's
ridiculous. I agree with you. I could not agree with you
I hate
more.
the Baseball Hall of Fame so much.
Yeah. In fact, over time, it's like delegitimizing the actual Hall of Fame because as people become more aware of what they're doing, you're like, how are these people not in the Hall of Fame? Like, you know what I mean? Like they were like, Barry Bonds can't be in. He did steroids. But Jeff Bagwell and Albert Pujols are in. They didn't do steroids. It's like, really? They didn't? Look at them.
Yeah, that's my question, right? So,
Ortiz, like,
did anybody from that steroid? Like, what was the other guy who? Was it Mark McGwire?
Yeah, McGwire, Sosa, Palmeiro.
Are they all in?
They all should be Hall
No,
of Famers.
they decide some guys didn't do steroids, and other guys who did it, they just look the other way.
Those dudes are clearly on the.
It's ridiculous.
Who cares about the Hall of Fame? Then?
I don't want to drag this out, but I just wanted to go on my little.
We're boring, Jesse.
I fucking
Rest in
hate
peace,
the Hall.
Let the record reflect that I
Pete
can
Rose.
shut up for a long period of time.
You're checking your phone.
I just want to add about Pete Rose.
Tickets.
I love that guy so much. The way he played baseball.
Why do they call him Charlie Hustle?
He called Charlie Hustle because no one ever played the game as hard as he did.
Was his name Charlie?
So
Charles?
No, it was just like Charlie Hustle. It was just a nickname.
Baseball used to come up with creative
cool names.
And
I used to practice sliding head first on the beach, like Charlie Hustle, like Pete Rose.
That's the way you are.
And I'm going to keep this story short because I tend to make my stories too long. But I got blessed. I was in the locker room. Visitors locker room, Veterans Stadium, 1985. And I get taken into the manager's office. He was a player manager. And I get introduced to Pete Rose, and he's sitting there in nothing but his jockstrap. Literally,
you got
buck naked.
You got Diddy
in his jockstrap. And he signs a ball for me and throws it to me, and I catch it. And I still have that ball, and I'll never forget that. It was like
3 balls, homie. You got 1 in your hand and 2 in your head for the rest.
There you go.
Unfortunately, that ball's worth absolutely nothing because he's signed 8,000 billion balls in it.
That is true. The guy signed more shit than anyone in the world. It does say
It does say
2 marks.
He would sign anything on a ball that you asked him. He would sign. I
bet on baseball.
He would sign on the ball. I'm gay and I suck. If you gave me $50.
It does say 2 mark. So to any other marks, maybe it's worth something.
Can we back up one step? Because as it happens from time to time, I heard your story and I was struck by only one thing.
Balls.
How did the prior generation decide that the jockstrap was a functional athletic item? Because, my son, when he wears a cup to play baseball, he's got like spandex shorts and you just put it in there. What was with the diagonal ass straps? Do you know what I'm talking about? Like, who thought the jockstrap made any sense for playing sports?
Jess. You trying to tell me you never had the jockstrap back in the day?
I did. My point is, I don't get it.
Remember back
I still have the jockstrap that I wear.
Remember back when you got the jockstrap,
You have to show up to the next episode wearing that. With Pete Rose ball.
We're gonna have to go back to the owner of like Rawlings and ask him.
Jess, remember when you got the jockstrap? There was no Under Armour tight underwear where you can just drop it in.
I know,
what I'm saying?
My point is, who thought? Like, I get the cup holding mechanism, but then the back part where it was like almost like a ass out.
Shows off the goddamn rails now.
Honestly, it was like a thong, but terribly constructed so that like diagonally the straps would go across your cheeks down into the taint.
It was support, dog. It was support.
It was awful.
Look at Danielle. She's feeling the jockstrap.
He wears it when, Danielle? When does he wear it?
This has gotten way weird about Danielle.
He plays softball, he wears it with a cup.
Yeah, you got to wear a jockstrap and a cup.
You are so old school, Mark.
I used to wear the jockstrap without the cup in it, just to let it hang in there. You know what I mean?
This is my favorite part of the whole episode. The jockstrap conversation. Oh, my God.
People don't even wear cups anymore, do they? Catchers,
Yes,
maybe?
they do.
No, they do. They do.
The catchers, that's it, right?
Yo, he was literally sitting up in his office in the chair with his feet up on the desk, with his just jockstrap, covering his shit.
Mark has a special relationship
on the phone, and he like meets me and he signs the ball, and he was probably placing bets.
I think everyone on earth has the same exact story about Pete Rose. Like I seriously heard the same story about like 95 people in the past week.
Amazing.
Like, oh, he sat down with me and he talked baseball. Like, yeah, he had nothing else to fucking do because he's banned from the game and no one likes him.
No, this is when he was playing in the locker room at that stadium.
Not many people have the story with him with his jockstrap.
Okay. Well, on that note,
what is that?
That's a picture of my daughter. Okay. On that note,
is she enjoying the podcast?
This would conclude episode 99 because we're over the hour.
It's a filler, man. It's a filler episode.
But you know what? No. We enjoyed ourselves, and you know what? That is the point here, folks. Okay. Next week.
Question: do you think that Mike is going to have us back because we cleared out the entire bar?
No, the bar clears out naturally. It wasn't us. This is what happens this time of night. By the way, I still am getting my wings.
They got the hell out of here.
All right, I'm still getting my wings tonight. Okay, next week, Tuesday night, 100th episode at the Coop. If you're watching this and you're a fan of City Pigeons, come down to the Coop, Spring Garden,
Listen,
Hamilton.
If you're watching this podcast episode and an hour and 5 minutes in, you have to be at this live. Like, there's no explanation to why you shouldn't be here.
Well, you definitely have nothing else to do.
Because, to be honest with you, I wouldn't even be lasting an hour and 5 minutes in if I wasn't sitting right here.
To be honest with you, I don't know how these numbers work, but it shows 316 people. And if that's the case, you all can't come to the Coop.
Shit's going to be lit.
Because we can't fit you. But we do want you to come. So come down.
I want all 316.
All right, all 316. Listen, it is the first Phillies away playoff game.
Yeah, so you know what we need to do?
What?
Talk to Underdog, sell some $5 T-shirts and hats.
We can't accommodate that size crowd.
Yo, did you guys cop me a shirt and a hat or what? I told you to.
Fuck. No,
I forgot.
Jesus Christ.
I got a shirt.
You got to be present to win.
Anyway.
All right, that's it. That's it.
I can't even count our brother.
Yo, see us Tuesday, everybody. Come down to the Coop if you're still listening.
Go Phils, big weekend
ahead.
now,
Tuesday.
I'll be at the Billie Eilish concert.
And don't forget to tip your bartenders. Come on.
Yeah, shout out to our boy Dane. Hooked it up. Let's go. Murphs, thank you for your hospitality. We'll be back, baby. This is going to be a residency. Everyone loves it.